I didn't think I would have that little impulse to pick up my phone. I just wanted to document this. This is day one of my experiment. And the experiment is, I call it Back to the 80s. And it's a screen-free week. Just to sum up, I don't have a TV. My computer is switched off and will remain off. My iPad and my laptop are also switched off and will remain switched off. My phone is switched on, but has all messengers, texts, Discord, everything interactive and communication removed. So it's a pure phone. So I told people they can actually phone me like they did in the 80s, and I might do that too to some people. It will probably shock them, because who makes phone calls these days, right? Looking at the time and looking at the clock is actually a problem, because I noticed I don't have any clocks. So my phone displays the time, and that's not ideal because it keeps me looking at my phone, even though it's somewhere on a table and no longer in my hand, and I'm not opening and scrolling. It's just on the display, and still I don't like it, which means that tomorrow I'll go into town and buy an analog clock. So how do I feel? It was nice this morning. I just sat there for a while and drank a cup of tea and didn't do anything. Although it was peaceful, my mind is still, the mill is still going, so I'm not off it yet. This will probably take a while. The weather was awful, so I stayed inside and did a lot of reading. I also took up sewing, which is funny because I have about 4 left hands. So day 3, and I'm doing so well. Actually, it's day 4. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, day 4, afternoon. I didn't think I would have that little impulse to pick up my phone. Now, the only thing that I notice is that I sometimes have the impulse to look things up. I'm a very inquisitive mind, and I always like to know things. When did that person live? What does this word mean? I'm a linguist. Context, and also trivial, everyday things. When is that shop open? Things like that. So I bought a clock, and I don't need the time anymore. And apart from these impulses to look something up, which might be on the computer, or mostly it is actually on the computer, but even that I immediately remember and I think, who cares? And the phone, I completely forget. It's lying face down. And I got one phone call from a delivery person. I made one phone call today because I'm on my way to Istria to meet a friend to do some nice things, holiday things, right? And that's it. I have, like I said, not the slightest inclination to pick up the phone. And you can see that because I haven't filmed in 3 days. And I wanted to document all of this, so I'll have to nudge myself to even pick up the phone as a camera. And the great thing about the camera is that I don't even have to unlock my phone because it's on the lock screen. I don't even have to really open my phone for that. So all in all, I will definitely do this regularly because I enjoy the peace so much I don't even miss the music. I enjoy how silent it is, how peaceful it is. I read with full concentration, without distraction, without the impulse of looking up and looking something up on the phone. I just read for hours and hours like I used to. All day. If like yesterday I was at home and I pretty much read all day. I sew, I do some things around the house and the garden, and I'm not bored in the least. And of course I dragged my friend to Valentino's, my favorite cocktail bar. After the one sunny day in Istria, I was back in my own wet corner of the country. I got one half day of dry weather and I used it to clear the previously cleared flower beds from the regrowth of the new young plants in there, and also to get rid of some of the bigger roots. I tried to document a lot this week, but I also consciously left out some things, like I filmed the day in Istria, but not the other friends I met in the course of the week, because I wanted to be fully present and not just experience everything through the lens. And I hope you'll forgive me for that. So, it's the last day of the week. Tomorrow I'll go back online and back to screens. So here's the final verdict. I start with the bad. While I did enjoy actually the silence, because it's so wonderfully quiet up here, I did miss my music. And you can call me old-fashioned. I just don't like the way music is all digital these days. I think there was nothing wrong with the previous system where you bought your music on a medium such as a record or a CD later, and you owned it. These days you can either stream, which means you need to be online, or you have to save it on your computer, which means you pay for the music, but you still need to provide your own storage space, which gets increasingly larger as the quality gets better and the files get larger and larger for the music. So when you bought the medium like the CD, the storage was included in the price, the medium. These days I pay for the music and I still have to provide the storage. And what will if my computer breaks? So I need to actually back it up as well on a separate hard disk or something. And I don't, again, maybe I'm just getting old, but I don't like that system very much. The other thing that I didn't like is not being able to look things up. I said that before. I like to check things. What date was that? When did that happen? When did that person live? Where is this town? I keep looking up things online, and that's something that I enjoy doing, what I love about the internet. I also miss talking to the people that are further away, like writing messages to people, although being on the phone, once again, is something that I could get used to again. But a lot of people hate that, obviously, and it's just handy being able to just write a message on my phone or on the computer and get in touch. And I will continue doing that, but I have decided that I will restrict this to certain times of the day. I don't want to constantly be distracted by some message, so no notifications and nothing. Twice a day I'll check my emails and my messages and then reply, and just take 20 minutes or so to write thoughtful messages or emails to friends and family and stay in touch that way. And that brings me to the good. The good is mainly what I also mentioned before, is that I feel like I have my mind back. I wasn't able to concentrate long on books lately. I kept looking up and looking whether there was a new email or a new message or something had happened online. And within 24 hours or even 12 hours of being without screens, I was sitting there immersed in a book for hours and hours like I used to. I don't have ADHD. I have screens. That's my condition. And that is wonderful. I love that so much. So in the future, I'll definitely take 1 or 2 days a week offline as often as I can manage it. It won't always be possible, but when it is, I will definitely do it. I also like a lot that I have broken this addiction of mine of reaching for my phone as soon as I wake up. Now, because I now have the clock, which also is an alarm clock, I don't even take the phone into the bedroom anymore. This is something I'm going to continue. So in the morning, I've always hated lying in bed while I was awake. And this week, I went back to that. I woke up and stretched and maybe a couple of minutes, and then I'm up and start the day, because I don't like hanging around in bed when I'm not asleep. That's something that I'll continue doing. So that's the verdict, and I'm so glad that I did this. And again, I'm going to continue doing it, and I'm going to try and preserve as many of the positives into going back online as I can.